Yo. The largest cash register in Catawba County. Catawba County Injustice Center. Now, if you guys have been keeping up with my case, a lot of you guys disagree with me and a lot of you guys agree with me. And that's okay. But until you wake up and realize how corrupt the system is, you will never understand. So let me explain it to you. Because I can speak openly now. And I'm going to tie together some pieces of this story that you may not know about my unlawful arrest and false charges and excessive force. Let me go over it. I watch a lot of YouTube. Right now, today, my opinion of YouTube activist is pretty low at this point. My opinion is pretty low of these First Amendment activists. I'm one of the most hated people in the community. I'm one of the most hated activists because they don't want to believe what I say. They don't want to believe that I'm on the government watch list. Now, they talk about people being on government watch list and being on terror watch list. They talk about it like it happens, but when you show them the things that actually happen when you're on that watch list, oh, that's just too crazy. I don't want to ruin my reputation with my viewers because they might not think that's real. So I don't want to risk my reputation. It's just like when the chief of police of Longview, North Carolina, threatened my speech, threatened my freedom because of my speech. I sent that video to Rogue Nation, George Metz. I said, will you share this on your channel? I said, I think they're setting me up to kill me. And I'll find the email and I'll go word for word. He acted like it wasn't no big deal. Rogue Nation, the actual criminal who's a criminal, went to prison. That guy, he didn't act like it was any big deal that my rights were infringed. Didn't matter to him. So when the chief of police does that, and I've got the recording of it, it's chilling my free speech. So let's fast forward and do a little rewind at the same time. There was a video came out on Lackluster probably early October. In this video, this white Caucasian lady was in Texas. And this psycho terror pig, ponytail pig, pulls her over because she had a bicycle on a bike rack behind her vehicle. Cop pulls her over, starts harassing her, and the woman's like, I don't have to give you my ID. I'm lawful to have that. And I'm, in this video, going to admit a little bit of ignorance of the law. In that video, the cop keeps trying to arrest the woman. Finally, the woman laments, gets out, gives her ID. And then the cops want to search the car because she don't want to get her ID, she's bound to have 200 pounds of crystal meth in the car. Surely that's the only reason people don't listen to us, because they must be drug dealers or something. So that ponytail pig calls her sergeant. Sergeant's like, oh no, that was an unlawful stop. You didn't have the right to do that. You can't pull her over. It's legal in Texas to have a bike rack on your car. I've been running a rack for a very long time on my Ranger. I've been pulled over several times with the rack on there. And North Carolina State Troopers, they pull you over, they're going to write you tickets. And they like writing tickets. Well, every time I got pulled over for it, I never got a ticket for it. So that and what from the previous video, I just assumed in the state of North Carolina, it's lawful. Well, it's not. So in that video, when I said I didn't break the law, well, I didn't break the law. I broke an ordinance violation, a minor traffic infraction that gave him the right to pull me over. Yes. Everybody on my channel knows they delete and edit body camera footage. Everybody on this channel knows that. When I tell you I've got a recording of my attorney this morning, the very first time I've seen her since she was appointed my counsel, the very first time, well, the second time I've seen her, but the only first time we sat down and talked, that she's been appointed counsel. She looked me dead in the eyes and says, they can't edit that. They can't change them videos. They are what they are. That video's exactly how they got it. I said, you're telling me 2 cops, 2 body camera footage, 2 body cameras, and I got 15 different videos, and you're telling me they can't edit it? No, they can't edit it. Then I proceed to tell her everything she missed in the video. Well, it wasn't so, and I'm still raging. Now, anybody else would be excited in this situation. I'm triggered. Every time I go to that place, I'm triggered. I'm sitting there trying to go over the case. Court is now. They're in there waiting to call my case, and I'm just now talking to my attorney. The same attorney that I went to her office 11 or 12 times, called her office 20 times, doesn't have time for me. She said, well, I sat down yesterday and went over the video. The day before court, and my attorney sitting down with the female DA, with the DA, the top dog, and they're reviewing the video, believing that they can't edit body camera footage. They can't edit axons. And I'm not just talking about standard body camera. I'm talking axons. They can't edit them. Apparently, the DA thinks they can't edit it either. Or maybe she's smarter than my attorney that's been practicing for 40 years. So in our meeting, I'm saying, hey, they deleted it. It doesn't show this. It doesn't show them slamming me. It doesn't show all that. And she's like, well, I've got a deal for you. I got a deal. I didn't want a deal. And everybody else out there will think that I'm crazy, or I'm stupid, and I got the deal of a lifetime. Listen, no weapon formed against me will prosper, period. God has got my back no matter what. No matter what. If I'd have went to jail today, God had my back. It didn't matter. There is no deal going into court when all you did was have an ordinance violation and you got slammed to the ground and arrested for resisting arrest and concealed carry. That ain't a deal. In a perfect world, I'd have walked in that courtroom, I would have had an attorney that fought for me, did what I wanted her to do. Ask why there's no dash cam. Ask why all these videos are edited. Ask why the cop lied and lied and lied. Put the cop on the stand and let that rookie piece of garbage defend his claims. Guess what? There's none of that. It's lock them up, lock them up, bargain with them, and take their money. No matter what, it's always a sum total gain for the beast system. Because even if found innocent, you don't get your bond money back. Even found innocent, your freedom was taken. Even found innocent, the trauma and embarrassment of being arrested. Even innocent, you still lose. I was sitting in court before we had the meeting. Sat on the front row because if I didn't see my attorney there today, or she was trying to try my case and stick me up there with no conference or anything like that, I was going to demand that I represent myself.
or get another court-appointed counsel. I would have represented myself. I would have done it, and whatever happened, doesn't matter. If I get put in jail, I'll witness to people about Jesus, and I'll tell them how corrupt the system is while I'm locked up. You can agree to disagree that I would do that, but I ain't lying. As she's talking to the DA, she's clearing out, she's bargaining with the DA about all her other cases. And then she gets to mine, she says, I saved the best for last. Well, not the best for him. This one's going to be a sticky widget. I guess that's an older term. I don't know what it means. A sticky widget. He's not going to like me. He may like you, but he's not going to like me. This is my attorney. I'm sitting 10 feet from her, and she's talking about me, that I'm not going to like her. Now, why wouldn't I like her? Because she's going to choose not to fight for me? You see, because even when your attorneys read the comments that law enforcement writes down about sovereign citizen and godlike religiosity, and he thinks God talks to him, and he thinks airplanes follow him. So I tried my best to document what she said word for word and send it to Tina to keep. Listen, you got to keep records. You have to record every conversation, depending on what state you're in. Record every conversation, write down everything you do. Anything you do with an attorney, write it in a notebook, because they are paid liars. I'm trying to tell her, listen, here's my certificate for concealed. I went to a concealed carry class this weekend. Paid $50, got the certificate. All I got to do is turn it in. Pay $80. The likelihood of them giving me one because I'm a felon is slim to none. But I took the case. I took the class so they would drop that charge. But I didn't get to talk to my attorney. So I didn't even get a chance to present that. I showed it to her. She's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I've already got this worked out if you want to do it. Because the concealed carry guy told me, oh yeah, everybody that takes my course after they got a concealed carry charge, they take my course and that is dropped. So they've already got one of them would have been dropped. The concealed carry gun would have been kicked out because I took the class. So no one left is resisting. And in North Carolina, this is a catch-all. Resist, delay, and obstruct. So if you stop an officer in North Carolina 10 seconds, if he has to wait 10 seconds for you to lick his boots and you don't do it, you have delayed and obstruct. That takes a pussy of a man. Adams and Smith are pussies, especially Adams, the little tiny, the tiny tyrant. He's a pussy. Both of them are. I'm going to write delay and resist and obstruct because he didn't give me his license when I asked for it. So I explained to my attorney, you didn't see what was on the camera. I said, you didn't see me get out of the truck. And I was thinking about last night. And I kept thinking about, I did not have my shirt tucked in. And when you guys see me, you see me all the time. I've always got my shirt. I always tuck my shirt in. I always tuck I don't leave the house without. I've always been told you wear a belt and you tuck your shirt in. I just do that. That's just another thing I do, part of my routine. I keep my shirt tucked in. Well, I didn't have it in that video. And then I realized that when that cop pulled me over, he turned the lights on, I actually got out of my truck. And I think I pulled my shirt out to show him that I didn't have anything in my waistband. Yet he still ordered me back in my truck. Let me pause this. So, I'm trying to figure out where I picked up at. When you go to court, you want your attorney to fight for you. She doesn't believe body cameras can be hacked. That's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen, ever heard. I asked her, did you see how many times he lied in the video? And then first she acted like she didn't hear him lie. And then I started telling her, hey, when he pulled me over, I got out of the truck. He ordered me back in. I get back in. I said, but he left all that out. I said, And also, when I made a video about that incident, I remember saying in the video, it felt like 38 seconds before he's pulling me out. You know, he didn't write that report that night. They edited the video to exactly what I said. They edited it to exactly what I said. It felt like 38 seconds, but if you watch the body camera video, it doesn't show me getting out of the truck. It doesn't show him pulling me over. There's no dash cam at all. Where's the dash cam? I said, why didn't you request a dash cam? I didn't know I needed to. I said, the dash cam would have been the probable cause for them to pull me. She didn't think anything about it. I had a whole list of stuff that I requested. They wouldn't give it to me because they said I have an attorney. I said, well, why didn't you as my attorney request it? Because they won't give it to me. Well, I didn't need it. She didn't need it because she wasn't fighting. But her and the DA, she got time to sit down with the DA and watch the video, but didn't have time to sit down with me and watch them. So she watched a doctored video for Longview, but didn't care to hear my side of the story. So once I realized that she didn't really care, because you got to step on it, you got to walk on eggshells around here. Because I printed out her reviews this morning. She's rude and hateful. She's dismissive. She doesn't listen. She doesn't care. There's 2 or 3 on there. She's stern but good. I just want to at least think that you care. All you gotta do is answer the phone. You got a secretary, give your secretary a message to give to me, and we'll go from there. I didn't get any of that. I got a video on my phone right now from 2 days ago where I went and talked to her secretary. I said, well, what do we do? I said, I'm worried. I got court Wednesday. Well, I'll tell her you come by, and that was it. Nothing else. So by the time she was done hearing me, because she's already believed, and I asked her, I said, why would they write all that sovereign citizen garbage on there besides they hate me for my speech? She said, well, I did notice that. Then I said, well, doesn't that give you motive? If the case is good enough on its own, why are they deleting and edited videos? If the case is good on their own, why they got to put this false narrative in? If the case is good enough on its own, why do all that? Because the state works with your attorneys, and nobody fights for you. That's one reason. When I watch the DUI lawyer on YouTube, he's a cocky prick, but he's the only attorney I've ever seen go to court on a misdemeanor charge like drunk driving and actually fight for his clients. Well, I mean, he'll badger the cops on the stand. He'll get the cops to lie on stand. I mean, he'll talk them out of their freaking underwear. He is in their ass on the stand. But I've never seen an attorney all the years I've been going to court, and I'm ashamed to say how many times I've been to court. I bet I've been to court 40 freaking times, and I'm embarrassed about it because, one, from a crazy goddamn ex-wife and being a targeted individual. They don't fight, they just compromise. Why? Because everybody's getting paid, and you're the one doing the paying. You're the one paying, not them. You're paying. So I asked her, I said, what are we doing? She said, well, I got it worked out for you. Because she don't want to deal, and that's what that sticky wicket comment meant, is she just believed that I was a sovereign. Cops are the sovereign citizens, not the people. They're the only ones that don't have to follow the law. They're the only ones who are immune from the law. It ain't the people who will go by the law. That's what I was doing. I was going by the law. I did not have a concealed carry, and even if I did, there's no permit to purchase a black powder firearm in the state of North Carolina. Without a permit to purchase, it's not a concealed weapon. That's what the law says. The concealed carry dude that's been doing it for 30 freaking years said the same thing. Him and his number 2 guy, and the number 2 guy has one of those class 1 fully automatic permits. He was at the range last week shooting a fully automatic 5.56 AR. But they don't know. They just teach the class every week. My gun wasn't concealed to start with because it was sticking out of my pocket. I resisted because I asked him, step back and look at my tag. Look at my tag. I never refused to show him my driver's license. Ever. I gotta go to work. Let me pause this. I gotta pick up more containers. Hold on. So we get to talking, and she said, listen, here's the deal. The DA and I have got you a sweetheart deal. You plead no contest, which doesn't mean you're pleading guilty. You're not pleading guilty. You are pleading guilty. She said you're pleading guilty. Not guilty. No contest. They'll destroy the weapons. No community service. No anger management. Why anger management? I wasn't angry. But this is what happened. No anger management, no community service. You just paid the fines and the cost. That sounds good to everybody else, but when you're innocent, you don't want to pay anything. You shouldn't have to pay anything when you're innocent. That's the problem. Anytime they get you in a courtroom, you're going to pay. Had to pay a bail bondsman. Had to pay the fines. Had to do all this time out of my life. I lost years off my life because of this corrupt system. Because no one should be arrested in America for simply trying to drive home. It ain't right. But for the simple fact, all they do is compromise. And you may say that's compromise is court work. No, I want an attorney that's going to fight. I said, well, I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I said, I want my pocket knives back. I said, if they're not part of the case, why'd they keep them? She's like, I didn't understand that either. I said, you don't understand this whole case was over my civil rights? They didn't like the way I talked? And she said, well, she said something, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but she made it sound like that the DA wasn't too happy either. And I'll tell you why. Sorry, I've got to pause this a lot. So, plead no contest, concealed weapon, and resisting arrest. And they dropped the horrible charge of having a carrier on the back of my truck. That horrible, horrific, dangerous charge of me blocking my tag, because I had to been blocking my tag because it's illegal. Because I don't ever have insurance, and I run dead tags everywhere I go in my stolen truck. Because that's why I didn't want to give my ID up, because I got warrants and my truck's stolen, and I was trying to hide like that rookie tyrant terror pig says. I made a quick and sharp turn right. He didn't put trying to elude, but that's the adjective he used to try to say I was trying to get away. Let me tell you something. When I woke up yesterday morning, my phone was ringing off the hook. The day before court. 2 days before court, I had my Bronco hauled to the shop. $600 worth of work, new clutch, pressure plate, throw-out bearing, slave cylinder, new e-brake cable. Had to spend all that money. Had to pay money to get my truck towed. Had to pay money to get my daughter's car towed. Just money flying out. And the whole time I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. No weapon formed against me will prosper. Yesterday morning before I woke up, what woke me up was my phone ringing. Ding! That marketplace ding, 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 ding. Some guy shows up at 10 o'clock, buys all 3 of my trailers. Another man shows up yesterday afternoon and bought 2 more windows in one morning. God put $900 in my pocket to pay this corrupt court, to pay this system, and to put enough money left over to order me a North American Arms black powder 22 mag pistol, which I will be carrying hooked to my pocket like I have for the last 6 years. So what did you accomplish? You didn't take my money, pigs. Terror pigs. You didn't take my money. You didn't understand that I exposed you to being liars. You are liars. You are corrupt and you're inept and you don't know your goddamn job. And because you have to edit and delete body camera footage, that proves how corrupt you are and how weak your case was. You didn't take my money. It's God's money to start with. What you think about that? So I will live to fight this corrupt government again. And to all you First Amendment advocates, like always, you're just corrupted by that money. You're just frauditors in it for the money. Not one of them offered to share my videos. Not one of them. And I reached out to 10 of them and no one cared. Why? Because I'm the real victim. I'm the real targeted individual. I'm the one being hacked, jacked, and whacked. I'm the one that's being the target of an investigation for my speech. I'm the freedom fighter fighting against these corrupt government thugs who will get their reward. Whether it be on this earth or standing for God the Father, they will get their just reward. And God will not say, oh, it was okay that you lied on a report. God will not say, it's okay that you unlawfully arrested him. It's okay you abused him. It's all good. You were doing it because you enforced the law. God ain't going to forgive you for what you've done. And it'll take a long time before I do too.